Hi everyone. Oh, I'm so happy to be here after 3 weeks of being sick. And I'm just loving how much are, the connections with this life because the chapter today, chapter 3, it's about grounding and about the body and about illness. And so I feel like it's all connected. And so just a reminder, this is a little bit of a short talk about the book. Conscious Practices for Sacred Practices for Conscious Living by Nancy J. Napier. And we're in chapter 3, which is called Getting Grounded. And so, yeah, beyond the coincidences and really appreciating that messages that come with the universe, I just want to start with an intention to be of service of you so that you can receive information that might help you in your life. And so that is the general overall intention for me tonight and always. And so first I was just thinking, why is it that we, talking about spirituality, it's important to ground. What is it with grounding? And the first thing I thought was, well, we are in this moment in a human body. Perhaps it's just like an astronaut suit, like a vessel. It's not all of us, but at the moment we're here, which means that we have to unify ourselves, our mind, our emotional body, our physical body, our spirit. And so when we disregard our body, which means we're not grounded, we're not unifying, accepting, loving all parts of us, right? So that's why in spirituality, grounding is important. And I really feel that when you connect your body to the here and now and to the spirit and to the physical mental planes, it just all gets together and works out. Also, as you should know, and I usually talk about trauma, when you're in a trauma response, you get disengaged from your body, so you're not grounded, which brings more possibilities for you to be in dangerous situations, because when you're not grounded, you're not aware of your surroundings, you can't respond. And so grounding is really important. And there is an idea here that I appreciate a lot because I never thought about it too. She says grounding your your mind, your psyche, she says, is one thing, and then grounding your body might be another. And they, of course, they work together, but grounding your psyche means to be present with your thoughts and emotions that you're feeling at the moment. Whereas grounding in your body would mean to be aware of your physical sensations. And so I feel like that's an interesting distinction. And again, not to separate, but more to like make it all together, right? And so the first thing she starts talking about is the power of the breath, which I really learned when I was learning how to be a yoga teacher, because when you study yoga, you can realize that we don't use our full capacity for breathing, and breathing patterns are also related again with trauma, fear, all of that. And so just breathing fully, your whole lungs full of air. And she just offers here an exercise to breathe with your belly. And so first things first, right? Breathing correctly would be the first grounding practice that you can do. And the entire chapter is full of meditations that you can use to ground in different ways. So it's really rich in that sense. It's one of my favorite chapters so far. And so one of the things that I love that she mentioned is why is it important to be grounded? And I'm sure you have heard this, but this idea that our body is giving us messages. And I was telling you about in another video related to eating disorders, and my experience with my eating disorder is that when I started to do the intuitive eating program, I just learned how much we disconnect our body from ourselves in a way that we don't get the messages. We don't trust our body, actually. So when I would be hungry, I wouldn't eat because I would condemn my hunger instead of eating. And when the person that was like into this program, getting me into this program, would tell me like, if you feel your body is hungry, you should eat, I would be like, no, because then I'm gonna abuse this, and I'm gonna my own thinking would be like, I'm gonna get fat and so on and so forth. And what I have learned in this program is to trust my body. If my body's hungry, I eat. If I am full, I'm full. It's just like being so in close with the messages of your body. Even, and I'm sure you have had this, when you have a body reactions when you meet a person and when you're in a situation that is not safe to you, it doesn't mean that the other person is X or Y. It's just you don't feel safe. And we learn to disregard that, to just like, don't pay attention, push it down. And so first things first is like a communication with your body. It's really important to ground. And so that is, I love that. And so let's see what else. Yeah, the other thing she mentions is that we tend to have mixed feelings about our body. So she offers like a body scan in which you can acknowledge which parts of you have mixed feelings about, and even your whole body. Some of us are not able bodies, some of us are not, have these issues with eating disorders. I have so many things. And so I feel like just acknowledging and be present to our mixed feelings is a way of grounding, because everything is about being present to what it is, not changing, not pushing. It's just, this is what it is here, and so I'm going to be present and embrace, accept. And so I feel like that's really nice to hear, that we can have mixed feelings and it's okay, we can just be present. And I was telling you, I've been sick for some time. And she says something that really hit me, which is, this is on page 85. Sometimes, though, there is nothing that can prevent a disease or keep you from having experiences in which you are truly helpless or out of control. And so I just feel like I really have learned during this time that I've been sick, because they don't know what it is. I have gone over a lot of tests and doctors, and we just haven't figured out what it is. And so what I ended up learning through these experiences, to be present and accept that I have the physical body, which has its limitations. Sometimes I cannot control. And in spirituality, we tend to like overanalyze, or perhaps spiritualize, saying like, what did I do? I'm causing this. Or, and it might be related to spiritual matters for sure. But the truth of the thing is that I'm sick. I don't know how to cure myself, and I just have to be present and compassionate. And so that's it has been really enlightening to me, just to surrender to the fact that I'm sick and I don't know how to cure, and my body just is asking me something. I've been resting a lot and just lying down because it's the pain. And so yeah, really, and which just leads to the next portion of the chapter, which is communicating with your body. So this really moving idea of what would it be for you to wake up every day and ask your body, what do you need from me? Imagine how that would change your relationship with your body, right? She gives some examples of friends that have done this practice, and the body says, I need yoga, I need stretching, I need exercise, I need, in my case, I was telling you, I need food, proper food, and so on and so forth. So having this connection and this communication, again, so that our body is our friend. It's this, I love this astronaut suit kind of thing, because I love sci-fi. It's this astronaut suit like that we are sort of trapped in for the moment. And so we just, we have to love it and be grateful of all the things we can experience, because we are in this astronaut suit at the moment. And so, yeah, I feel like I have done this a lot in my spiritual healing, which is move your consciousness into the tension and have a dialogue with it. So for example, from the different pains I have, one is like a chronic pain in my back. And so my helpers, spiritual helpers, would like lead me to talk to the pain. What do you need? What is it? What happened? They just talk to the pain. I feel like that is really good. So then she offers some affirmations, if you're into affirmations, to give to your body. And then this idea of honoring the body. And so this made me think, because she mentioned that she had a condition in her eyes when she was little, so she would have a hard time to look at the mirror. And that immediately took me to remember that for 15 years or more, I just couldn't look at a mirror myself, because of my self-esteem issues, my own self-hate, or my body image. was really, I was just even like walking and like looking at like a surface that reflects my own face, I just couldn't bear, which is really sad to acknowledge, but pretty true. And my way to out of it, self love, it's been a tough tough path. And I had a period, many years ago, when I was just like take pictures of myself and like fall in love with me basically. Today I really love mirrors. I feel comfortable with mirrors, and I'm still shy in the camera, but just like a complete different relationship with my body image. And I remember a few years ago I had a really rough time, and I remember this practice that I recommend to you, which was when I was suffering and crying and all, I would go to the mirror and look at my own eyes. And I just found this unexpected, amazingly big love for myself. So much compassion of me facing my own image, suffering, or being happy. It's just being present, but looking at myself, which is what we usually need when we're little, is that feel seen. And so then I would give that to myself in a very, practical way, which was for me to look at the mirror in my hard times and just love myself through my own eyes, looking at myself. So, all that good stuff. Let's see. So then more experiments she offered, and then of course dealing with physical distress, which is what I was talking about. And she says like, yeah, not push it away or tend to lessen the intensity, but just be present. And it made me remember one of the exercises that my helper offered to me when I was sick was to hold space for my pain and see what it needs, and it was interesting because the more I allow the pain to be, the intensity decreased. When I was collapsing and sort of like saying like go away, it would be more intense. And when I would just like let it expand, it really went down. And so all these practices that, the premise is that we have the capacity to be observers, compassionate observers of the many parts of us, being pains, being sickness. Like you can have dialogue with yourself, given that you have an ego and a mind that is able to observe. And we usually talk about ego in a negative way because it has its lots of negativity, but it can be also a good tool to observe. And so this is what we have here. And an idea that I also have used, and it's really interesting that she mentions this, is when you have a sickness, a pain, you can give it an image, like a representation. So for example, she gives an example: if you have a neck pain, you can ask yourself, or your therapist would ask yourself, like, how do you picture this pain? And so here she says a knot, right? Like a tight knot. And so when you talk to this tightness that you see as an image of a knot, how would it be to untangle, right? To like see. So explore the imagery of your pain. It's also something very useful, and I personally have used it. And coming to the end, I wanted to read this beautiful paragraph. Is just perfect. That says, being grounded means more than being fully present in your physical body. It also means being fully connected to the context in which you live, able to move between the demands of the rational, everyday world and the non-rational needs and aspirations of your interior self, the part of you that seeks to experience the sacred. And so I feel like, as I was telling you, sometimes when we spiritual people talk about the bodies, like it's inferior, and so this is just an invitation to make it a more, equivalent, like an importance of the body. It's not that the spirit is superior and that body is there. We don't like the body. No, it could be quite the opposite. I mean, not the opposite. It's just they are in the same planes, and we're just like dealing with this unification, as I was telling you. And so I like that. And she really talks about how can you embody your spirituality. So how is it that you can sort of like download what you have internally in your spirit to your quotidian life? And that is actually what we're doing here as human beings. We incarnated so that we can, make the light penetrate into the physical body, mental body, and so that is exactly what I think it's the importance of grounding, is to like bring down, to say, the spiritual to the physical, which is where we are stuck at the moment. And so I think that's good. And finally, I wanted to end with the idea of being alive in your body. So like a benefit of being grounded would be to actually have a fulfilling life, because you're not separate from your body. You can enjoy your connection with spirit, you can enjoy your mental ability, your mental connections and everything, your emotions, and you can have all together with your body, so that you have a very pleasurable life. And so I feel like that's what we are aiming for, and I love that. So yeah, just preparing for the next topic, which is mindfulness, practicing mindfulness. So that would be chapter 4, and hoping that, well, that I feel better in terms of my health, and if not, that I am at peace with what it is at the moment. So thank you so much for being here and sending you good energy.